National Electrical Code requirements dictate several factors when connecting a large diesel generator unit supplying 277/480 volt 3-phase power to a 5 horsepower submersible pump. Firstly, consider the motor control panel. National Electrical Code Article 430.2 mandates a motor controller to safeguard motors against overload, short circuit, and ground faults. For a 5 horsepower motor, a motor control panel equipped with overload protection is a necessity. Secondly, the disconnect means must be considered. National Electrical Code Article 430.110 mandates a disconnect switch or circuit breaker that is readily accessible and within sight of the motor. A circuit breaker located in the generator's panel typically satisfies this particular requirement. Thirdly, analyze conduit protection. If the circuit extending from the generator to the submersible pump is vulnerable to the elements or vehicle traffic, it must be installed within a raceway, such as a conduit or a cable tray, adhering to National Electrical Code Article 300.3b. It is strongly recommended to employ a dedicated motor control panel featuring appropriate overload protection, particularly for a critical pump like a submersible one. While the circuit breaker within the generator's panel may fulfill the National Electrical Code requirement for a disconnect, the presence of a separate disconnect situated near the pump enhances both safety and accessibility. Employ heavy-duty cable that is specifically rated for outdoor use and ensure its installation in a secure location or within a conduit to shield it from potential damage. While directly plugging the submersible pump into the circuit breaker panel of the generator might be technically permissible in certain scenarios, it is generally not recommended because it lacks adequate motor protection and does not align with the recommended safety standards. The utilization of a motor control panel and the installation of the circuit within a conduit are strongly advised for both safety and reliability reasons. For a 5 horsepower motor operating at 480 volts, you need to select components that are appropriately sized. Consider the motor's full load amps, or FLA, which can be found on the motor's nameplate. This value is crucial for sizing the overloads, conductors, and disconnects. The National Electrical Code provides tables such as Table 430.250, which lists the design current for various types of motors. Use this table to verify the motor's FLA. The overload protection is designed to protect the motor from overheating due to excessive current draw. National Electrical Code Article 430.32 provides guidance on selecting overload protection. Typically, overload relays are sized at 125% of the motor's FLA for motors with a service factor of 1.15 or higher, or for motors with a temperature rise of 40 degrees Celsius or less. For motors without these characteristics, the overload relay should be sized at 115% of the FLA. The overload relay should be installed in the motor control panel. Short circuit and ground fault protection is essential to protect the motor, conductors, and other equipment from damage due to short circuits or ground faults. National Electrical Code Article 430.52 provides guidance on selecting the appropriate size for these protective devices. The maximum allowable size for an inverse time circuit breaker is typically 250% of the motor's FLA, but this can vary based on the motor's design letter and other factors. Fuses can also be used for short circuit and ground fault protection, and their maximum allowable size is also based on the motor's FLA. The conductors supplying the motor must be sized to carry the motor's full load current, plus any additional loads that may be connected to the same circuit. National Electrical Code Article 430.22 specifies that the conductors must have an ampacity of at least 125% of the motor's FLA. This ensures that the conductors can handle the motor's current draw without overheating. The disconnect means is required to provide a way to safely disconnect the motor from the power source for maintenance or in case of an emergency. As mentioned earlier, National Electrical Code Article 430.110 requires the disconnect to be readily accessible and within sight of the motor. The disconnect must be horsepower rated and have an ampacity equal to or greater than 115% of the motor's full load current. A circuit breaker in the generator panel can serve as the disconnect if it meets these requirements. Grounding is critical for safety and to provide a path for fault current to return to the source, which will trip the overcurrent protective devices. National Electrical Code Article 430.122 requires the motor to be grounded in accordance with Article 250. This typically involves connecting a grounding conductor from the motor to the grounding system of the generator. If the motor is located in a wet or damp location, additional grounding precautions may be necessary. For temporary installations, such as the submersible pump application, it is especially important to ensure that all wiring and equipment are suitable for outdoor use and are protected from physical damage. The use of flexible cords is permitted in some temporary wiring applications, but they must be of the appropriate type and size for the application. National Electrical Code Article 590 covers temporary installations and provides additional requirements for safety. If flexible cords are used, they should be protected from damage by using cord grips and strain relief fittings. They should also be supported properly to prevent them from sagging or being subjected to excessive tension. If the wiring is exposed to vehicle traffic or other physical hazards, it must be protected by a raceway, such as rigid metal conduit or intermediate metal conduit, or by other suitable means. The conduit must be properly supported and secured to prevent it from being damaged. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is required for personnel protection in many temporary wiring applications. National Electrical Code Article 590.6 requires GFCI protection for all 125-volt, single-phase, 15 and 20 amps receptacles that are not part of the permanent wiring of the building or structure. GFCI protection can be provided by using GFCI receptacles or by using a GFCI circuit breaker. Because the pump is submersible, ensure all electrical connections are watertight and suitable for wet locations. Use appropriate connectors and sealing methods to prevent water from entering the electrical system. Regularly inspect the wiring and equipment for damage or deterioration and replace any damaged components immediately. Ensure that all personnel working with the electrical system are qualified and trained in safe work practices. Follow all applicable safety regulations and use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves and safety glasses. Keep the area around the generator and pump clear of obstructions and flammable materials. Provide adequate ventilation for the generator to prevent overheating. Have a fire extinguisher readily available in case of a fire. Follow all manufacturer's instructions for the generator and pump. Conduct regular maintenance on the generator and pump to ensure that they are operating properly. Keep a record of all maintenance and repairs. If any problems are detected, have them corrected by a qualified electrician. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements of the National Electrical Code and other applicable codes and standards. A qualified electrician can also help you select the appropriate equipment and materials for the application and ensure that the installation is safe and reliable. In summary, when connecting a 5 horsepower submersible pump to a 277/480 volt 3-phase generator, it is essential to follow the requirements of the National Electrical Code. This includes using a motor control panel with overload protection, providing a disconnect means that is readily accessible and within sight of the motor, protecting the wiring from physical damage by using a raceway or other suitable means, and providing GFCI protection for personnel protection. By following these requirements, you can ensure that the installation is safe and reliable. The correct steps would be: firstly, determine the motor's full load amps from the motor nameplate or National Electrical Code Table 430.250. Secondly, select overload protection sized at 125% of the FLA for motors with a service factor of 1.15 or higher, or 115% for others. Thirdly, choose short circuit and ground fault protection, typically a circuit breaker sized at a maximum of 250% of the FLA. Fourthly, size conductors with an ampacity of at least 125% of the FLA. Fifthly, install a disconnect means that is readily accessible and within sight of the motor, rated at 115% of the motor's FLA. Sixthly, ensure proper grounding of the motor and equipment. Seventhly, use wiring and equipment suitable for outdoor use and protect it from physical damage. Eighthly, implement GFCI protection for personnel protection. Ninthly, regularly inspect and maintain the equipment and address any issues promptly. Tenthly, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. For a 5 horsepower motor running on 480 volts, 3-phase, we must look at the full load amperage. Looking at National Electrical Code Table 430.250, a 5 horsepower 460 volt motor has a full load current of 7.6 amps. This is the value you will use to determine wire size and overcurrent protection. Note that 460 volt is the standard voltage rating for 480 volt systems, and it's what is used in National Electrical Code tables. The wire size must be rated for at least 125% of the full load amps, which is 7.6 amps times 1.25, equaling 9.5 amps. Looking at National Electrical Code Table 310.16 for allowable ampacities of insulated conductors rated for not more than 3 current-carrying conductors in a raceway, cable, or earth, we see that a 14 American wire gauge copper conductor rated for 75 degrees Celsius is rated for 20 amps, which is sufficient. However, you must also consider voltage drop. For motors, it is recommended that the voltage drop not exceed 5% total. The further the pump is from the generator, the larger the conductors need to be to avoid excessive voltage drop. X. Size the overcurrent protection. This can be a circuit breaker or fuses. For a circuit breaker, the maximum allowed value is 250% of the full load amps. So, 7.6 amps times 2.5 equals 19 amps. You would use the next standard size down, which would be a 15 amp circuit breaker. For fuses, the maximum allowed value is also 250% of the full load amps, so you would use the same 15 amps fuse. Size the motor overload protection. This is typically done with overload relays in the motor starter. The overload relays should be sized at 125% of the motor's full load amps if the motor has a service factor of 1.15 or greater, or a temperature rise of 40 degrees Celsius or less. If not, they should be sized at 115% of the motor's full load amps. Assuming our motor has a service factor of 1.15 or greater, we would size the overload relays at 7.6 amps times 1.25 equals 9.5 amps. You would select overload relays with an adjustable range that includes 9.5 amps. Lastly, size the equipment grounding conductor. This conductor connects the metal frame of the motor to the grounding system. Based on National Electrical Code Table 250.122 for a 15 amps overcurrent device, you would use a 14 American wire gauge copper conductor. Remember that these calculations are based on the information given and standard National Electrical Code practices. Always consult the National Electrical Code and a qualified electrician for specific requirements and to ensure safe and compliant installation. The use of a motor control panel is highly recommended as it provides a single point for all motor control and protection functions. The motor control panel should include a motor starter with overload protection, a disconnect switch, and short circuit and ground fault protection. The motor control panel should be installed in a location that is readily accessible and protected from the elements. The wiring from the generator to the motor control panel and from the motor control panel to the pump should be installed in conduit to protect it from physical damage. The conduit should be properly supported and secured to prevent it from being damaged. All electrical connections should be made in accordance with the National Electrical Code and should be properly insulated and protected from moisture. The pump should be grounded in accordance with the National Electrical Code to prevent electric shock. A ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, should be installed to provide additional protection against electric shock. The GFCI should be installed in a location that is readily accessible and protected from the elements. The generator should be properly sized to handle the load of the pump and any other electrical equipment that will be connected to it. The generator should be operated in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. All personnel working with the electrical equipment should be qualified and trained in safe work practices.